Hello and welcome to Asanify. I'm Gaurav, I'm the co-founder of Asanify, and Asanify is an end-to-end HR and payroll management software which can help you streamline all your HR related activities in your company. If you are here looking at this video, then congratulations, you've already taken the first step, which will not only simplify your entire people management in the company, but will also enhance the employee productivity. It can potentially save almost 20% of your administrative time, whether it is running the payroll, managing your employees' leave, attendance. All these can be done quite seamlessly through a single platform. Over the next few minutes, we will go through how Asanify can help you do all of this in a manner which is not just covering all the requirements, but it is also so flexible and configurable that all kinds of policies that you may have in your company can be configured in the system quite easily. And on top of it, the platform has been built in a manner that all employees, whether they are sophisticated, non-sophisticated, field staff, all of them will find it very, very simple to use it. Yeah, let's get right into it and see how Asanify helps you do this. What you see on the screen is the admin login for Asanify, which is the initial login ID that we'll create to help you set up the system, and your employees will be given an ID of their own for them to do things which are relevant for individual employees. On the left side, you will see each of the modules that are covered under Asanify, whether it is hiring support, whether it is people management, payroll execution, leave management, attendance tracking. We will go into it each one by one over the next few minutes. One of the first things that is important in any company is the attendance tracking of their employees. It has impact on the payroll, it has impact on employee productivity. Let's see how Asanify helps you do that quite easily. Yeah. In attendance policy, we understand that in companies, there are different employees who may be running different shifts. Somebody may be in the morning shift, somebody may be in the night shift. There may be some tech teams which are working flexible hours. So Asanify allows you to create multiple policies like weekend shift, morning shift, general shift policy. You can quite easily create a policy configuring it exactly the way you like it. What is the start time? What is the end time? If there is late coming that is allowed or not. All of those things can be configured quite seamlessly. Once you've created the policy, you can update the assignment or assign those policies to individual employees depending upon who falls under which shift. It's as easy as a click of a button, and the moment you assign it, all the employee needs to do is clock in and clock out, and the system will be able to track who has worked for how many hours as per policy, whether it is full day, half day, present, absent, whatever the status might be. Many of the companies also use biometric machines for tracking through either the fingerprint or through the face scan. Asanify is integrated with biometric devices as well. So you can configure your policy on Asanify, and the feed from the clock in and clock out time can come from the biometric machine, so that in a single view, you'll be able to see under the clock section. In a single view, you can see what has been the track record of your employees, what has been the time that they have been coming in, what has been their daily attendance status. All of that can be updated, gets updated real time. You'll also be able to download these things as a report from the analytics section. So when it comes to attendance, the first thing is to configure the policy to your requirement, assigning those policies to individual employees. And after that, the employees can simply do the clock in and clock out. Now, many a times you want the employees to be present in a certain location. You want to ascertain whether it is the employee who's been clocking in by either taking a selfie or verifying whether the employee is there or not. So in the policy, you will see that Asanify also allows you to take a selfie-based attendance so that you can authenticate that the employee genuinely was present. You can create a geo fence around your office location where you'll be able to control where the employee is present when they are marking the attendance in and out. So you can create a geo tag for your office location, and you can define that only when the employee is in a 60-meter radius, only then they are able to mark the attendance. So it covers all the scenario. You can mark your attendance either on the mobile app or on the desktop or through the biometric machine. And you can control the timestamp and the geolocation as well. Once it is done, at any point in time, the employee can log in to see what their attendance clocks have been. In case somebody has forgotten to mark attendance, they can always regularize the attendance, in which case it will go to the manager for approval. Once the manager approves it, the attendance gets marked on the system. Attendance marking is important because not only it defines the productivity of your employees, but it is also an important component to the payroll. Many companies do the payout depending upon what has been the attendance record for the employee in the entire month. And Asanify Payroll syncs seamlessly with the attendance management system. And we'll quickly get into that and see how. For running the payroll, there are 2 or 3 important parts which Asanify has simplified quite easily. Now, no matter what your salary components could be, basic, HRA, variable salary components, PF, ESIC, all of those earning components are either pre-configured or you can define your own custom earning components like, child education allowance, conveyance allowance, any deductions like somebody has taken a loan and you're recovering that money, or there are food coupons to be given out. Asanify allows you to create those earning components and all the standard ones are already present. You can also create your own flexi benefit plan as well, where the company can choose to say that, let's say I'm giving out 50,000 rupees of flexi benefit and the employee can choose that 10,000 of that goes into my driver's salary and another 5,000 goes into mobile reimbursement and stuff like that. Once you have defined it, and the Asanify team helps you in defining, in setting up your payroll as well. Once you have defined those components, running the payroll really becomes like a 10-second activity. All you have to do is select the month for which you're running the payroll. Let's say I'm running the payroll for the month of December. Uh, at this time, the system is calculating all the taxes, doing the pro rata of the salaries, looking at the investment declaration of the employees, and calculating what the gross and net salary has been. Now, you see, in 5 seconds, the system has calculated the gross and net salary for all the employees. Now, here there is a warning tab where if the system identifies that any of the things on the system is not particularly in the right order, it will show you as a warning. Let's say payroll data for one of the months is not available. You might want to run that month's payroll before you come to December. Or the following employee has selected an old tax regime, but the investment declaration is not there. So the employees can choose whether it is the old regime or the new regime. And in old regime, it makes sense only when you do an investment declaration. Or if somebody's PAN number is missing or somebody's bank details are missing, those things are shown up as a warning so that you can go back and correct those details on the system. Yeah. At this stage, while running the payroll, you can look at what has been the settings that have been defined for that employee, whether the PF has been configured, yes, no, whether labor welfare fund is there or not. Asanify does the calculations for not just the payroll, but all the statutory compliance elements as well. PF, ESI, professional tax, TDS, labor welfare fund. We not only do the calculations, we also do the filings for each of these statutory compliances that you may need. Yeah. While running the payroll, you see at this stage, the system has calculated the gross and net salary for each, but almost in all the cases, you look at some variable incentive that may be getting paid out. There may be some loss of pay that the employees can go through. So at this stage in the payroll, you can actually modify those things, whether it is, let's say, 5 days of LOP for this days, there is 4 days of loss of pay for another one. If you have defined the attendance policy like we saw 5 minutes back, you can also sync the LOP days basis the attendance for that month, and all the loss of pay calculations for each of the employees can get done automatically. If there is any component which is there over and above their standard salary components, it could be sales incentive, it could be commissions, it could be reimbursement. All of those things can also be added at this point. Let's say 10,000 rupees of bonus for this employee, 2,000 rupees of commission for this employee, etc., etc. If there are lots of entries to be done, you can simply enter that in an Excel and upload it here. And after that, all you have to do is process input and review, and the system will recalculate all the taxes meant for any of the employees and what is the gross and net salary for that month. It's important to note that as I will run the payroll, before I confirm, I can also compare the payroll with the previous month. Now, a lot of times in the company, while finalizing the payroll, I want to be doubly sure whether all the employees are getting paid out correctly or not. So Asanify makes sure that line by line for each employee, you'll be able to compare that is there any difference between the last month's salary and this month's salary that I'm paying out. So you see here, for across all the components where there is a difference, it will stand out for you to go back and check whether the salary had changed or whether there was a loss of pay element that is causing this issue. It becomes easy for you to reconcile. Once you have done the reconciliation, you can simply confirm and generate the payslip. Your payroll activity is done. The moment I click this button, the payslip for the employee has automatically been generated. If the employee goes into the payslip section, they can simply download their payslip from here. Since this is the admin ID, I can download the payslip for any of the employees, but obviously the employees can do it only for themselves. They can also email their payslip to the email ID if they need, or they can simply download the PDF, which will get downloaded. The PDF in the payslip can also be customized exactly to your likings. Many companies want to show what has been the attendance track record. Your company logo will come here, company name. All those things can be configured on the payslip. Apart from the standard components, you see, I can also give the attendance summary so that the employee knows that when they are paid X amount, what has been the contributing factors towards that amount, or if there's any loss of pay deductions. You can also show them the daily attendance status. It becomes end to end in terms of clarifying to the employee that what their attendance has been, whether it was through biometric or through the direct punching on the application, and the final payroll and payslip. Yeah. Let's jump into the leave management, and exactly like what we saw in the attendance management system, for leaves, you can configure multiple types of leave policies. In your organization, it could be casual leave, sick leave, privilege leave, or maybe just one type of leave given out to all employees. So you can configure how you want the leave management to happen. While creating the policy, you can define whether the leaves are given out every month, is it given out every year, does it carry forward, what should be the maximum balance. All those elements can be configured at the time of setup. And like I mentioned, the Asanify team also helps you in setting it up for your organization. Like we did in case of attendance policy, once you've created the leave policy, you can assign them to different individuals. Let's say there's a maternity leave policy and I don't want all my employees to have it, so I can choose which employees are eligible for which type of leave policy. Once you've done that, all your employees need to do is when they log in, they'll be able to see each of the policies that you have tagged against their name, and they'll be able to see the current balance and the available balance. The difference between these two is there may be some leaves that they have taken, but they have not been approved yet. When an employee applies for the leave, it goes to the manager for approval. Once the manager approves it, it gets recorded on system. So if there is a difference between current balance and available balance, it means that there are some leaves which are still pending. Yeah. The employees can simply select whichever type of leave they want to take. They can select the dates and record the leave, at which point it will go to the manager for approval. Now, the dashboard page, which is the home page that opens up when an employee logs in, gives them a summary of all the things that they have to do. So if there are some leave requests which are pending, you can approve or reject it. If somebody has changed their employee information, if somebody's attendance has been regularized, you can do all of that from the dashboard page itself. Yeah. Another unique thing about Asanify is when employees are taking leaves, there is a company level calendar that gets created where you can see who's on leave on which dates, if somebody's birthday is falling, what are the company level holidays. All of that can be viewed by all the employees. That makes life very simple in terms of scheduling, where you know who's present at what time. What we have seen so far is the entire leave management, attendance tracking, geotagging or geofence, biometric integration, face recognition, And the payroll implication of all of these things can be done quite easily on Asanify. Like I mentioned earlier, Asanify is not just a payroll platform, it is an end-to-end HR system. And a lot of things about end-to-end HR management starts with managing the employee data. So at the time of setup, when you and Asanify integrates with Excel seamlessly. So setup is literally like a half an hour activity where the Excel of your employee data and the salary can be uploaded directly. And this becomes your repository for all your employee information, where their personal details, their bank account details, their work related information, all of that gets recorded on Asanify. You'll also be able to see all their past salaries because it is the repository of your payroll. You can see when the last increment had happened, what was the old salary, what's the new salary, all of that in one place. Another important point to note is in the employee details, the employees can request edit for each of these things, where as an admin, you can just approve or reject it. It's an employee self-serve system, where if my bank account details has changed, I can simply log into the system and update the bank account. As an admin, you can just simply approve it. The reason why bank account is also important is because after running the payroll, Asanify helps you transfer the money to people's bank account as well. You can have your bank account linked to Asanify where the payout gets done either through bank transfers. You can choose cash payment for some employees as well. If there are people in your company who want the payout to be done on UPI, that can be managed as well through Asanify. Yeah. While adding the employee data, the company will also prepare the org structure for your company, because as the moment you enter the employee and assign who's the manager for that employee, the system will create the entire org structure for your company. The reason it is also important is so that everyone in the company knows what is the structure and who reports to who. And at the same time, when let's say Rina is applying for leave and Priyom is the manager, the leave request or attendance tracking will be done by approvals will be done by the manager. There's also a scenario where the manager can also apply for leave or mark attendance on behalf of their direct reports, because sometimes the employees can be stuck outside. Yeah. In the end-to-end HR management, there are different modules. Asanify can help you create a careers page for job posting. You can manage all your candidates' data in one place. You can schedule interviews using Asanify. You can update the status of your candidates, whether it is offer accepted, offers hired. So it's a seamless system where your candidates, before they become an employee, managing them, and once they accept the offer, becoming a part of your HRMS can be handled seamlessly. You can also create the offer letter templates. Now in different companies you may have interns who are following a certain terms of service, and hence the offer letter is slightly different. Your full-time employees, the offer letter may be different. Your consultants may have a different letter, so you can create multiple templates. And sending out the offer letter also gets automated through the system, where once the offer template has been fixed, you can either download the offer letter or simply send it as an email from Asanify itself. So you can customize the offer letter exactly how you want it. There are those variable placeholders that you can use with your company logo, etc. It becomes very, very simple for the hiring person to manage the entire hiring and onboarding process. Yeah. Uh, while looking at the end-to-end HR management requirement, another important thing is to track the performance of your employees. So you can define goals for individuals, team level, company level goals, which your employees can update. So in one view, you will have a complete knowledge of which are the top goals that you're going after, how much has been the progress, where are you lagging, what has been the critical milestones. All those information will be available literally at the click of a button for you, so that you know if you have to do the course correction, where do you need to focus. Once you've defined the goals and OKRs for your teams and individuals, the same goals and OKRs can also be used in performance management, where under the performance management section, you can define it's a 360-degree performance management, where whether it is the reporting manager reviewing the reportee, or peer review, or 360-degree feedback, all of that can get done quite easily. You can create your own review cycles, you can customize the feedback form, And once it is done, your employees will be able to review either self-review or to their direct reports quite easily on the system itself. Yeah. So net, each of these modules will require some detailed handholding. You can always get in touch with our sales team or write to us at sales@asanify.com for us to get in touch with you, and we can take it forward. I do hope to see that you are using Asanify. We offer a 14-day free trial, and I do hope that you make the best use of it. And if you need any assistance, we are literally available 24/7. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you get started on Asanify very quickly. Thank you so much.